Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 hour to make the best game ever. Okay, I think we still have to finish the review for Helmut, the one. But maybe we get before we get back to that, maybe we check some of the smaller ones here. Assign missing player index to the unable to set rally point audio event. Yeah, okay. What is this? Let me see the description. Audio event cannot be heard because its player index is unassigned. Unable to set rally point. And the logic matches set rally audio event. So user facing change. The player will now correctly hear the invalid action sound when a rally point placement fails, similarly to when a building placement fails. Nice. Could you perhaps attach a video? Be interesting to hear that. Okay. Yeah, really not set. Set player index. It reads like it makes sense. Are there any other similar ones? Let me see. Set position pause. Oof. Set position pause. Yeah, there are others. Ready point not set. Ready point set. Play the no can do sound. Not set. Yeah. Makes sense. Add the Super Hackers version to options screen. Okay, that's interesting. Version. Okay, that's not the kind of version that I had expected for this. Well, so this affects GUI. GUI minor. Next tag. Version wide. Next tag game version. How? That's not the kind of version string that I had expected for that thing, no. This is how does this 091, how's this generated? Let me see. Super Hackers version wide. Okay, Where's that? Define game version. Okay, what is that? Game version is next tag. Next tag. Okay, now what file reads? Where's it? How's that generated? Next tag. Huh? Huh? Next tag. Is this generated or not? Generated by CI process. Oh. I am. I think the CI version probably makes sense for CI generated releases, but we will also need a version generated by commit and hash, by commit number and hash. Code for that is inside inside 10.10 is linked. Code for that is linked in that. It makes sense for CI generated release, but we will also need a version generated by commit number and hash. Also, I would like version information appended. Also, perhaps it would be good to append version information to window title. Maybe even print it directly in the main menu with a transparent font to make it extra noticeable, because because in the options menu it is kind of obscure. It is kind of obscure. Yeah, I mean, because it's kind of weird. I personally would just remove it from the options menu and I would move it into the main menu, and then in the main menu like have it in a like semi-transparent font, so that it's not like disturbing anything, but it's highly visible. So so that every time you launch the game, you can see it right away in the main menu, because I think that's most relevant that you see the version that you have. Because if you then, let me explain this to make it extra easy to see. Because in the options menu, it is kind of obscure, which can be missed by players if asked for version information of the clients. Like basically when you ask like, okay, what client are you running, right? If they know where they can find this information, then it will be easier to get this information. If you first have to explain to them, yeah, click in the options menu and look down at the buttons, then you know they need maybe some hinting. But if it's like right in the menu, in the main menu, like everyone will see it, right? Unless they can't read, right? CI version probably makes sense for CI generated releases. We also need a version generated by commit number and hash. Code for that is linked in 10.10. Also, perhaps it would be good to append version information to the window title. Maybe even print directly in the main menu with a transparent font to make it extra easy to see. I hope my text is kind of clear, but I would like to see more to it. I think it's an interesting start. I didn't picture that like having this generated from the CI would be an option. It's interesting. I don't know how this number comes to be though. It's maybe a weird number. I don't know. 0.91. How does this come to be? I don't know. It seems kind of random. Like maybe these versions should be handpicked, like release 1, release 2, and then you have the hash of the version and the revision of the version. That's the amount of commits in the main line. And I think that would be better. Handpicked version, the commit hash to be really unique, and the amount of commits. So then you see like, okay, what it's like also a way for users to gauge like how much actually happened in between, like how much did it advance, right? So I'm not sold on this implementation. It's interesting, but I would like to see this more polished. Yeah. This PR implements a system clock and simulation timer. Both can be stylized and moved by adding the relevant fields to the in-game UI. The system time is just currently offset from the left, while the simulation timer is positioned based on a percentage of the current horizontal resolution. This is how the game timers are positioned on the screen as well. They are enabled by default for now, but can also be disabled in options ini. And the code has been set up for future expansion for when the options menu gets expanded to include new features. The following disable them independently if added to the options ini. Okay. This positioning is a bit weird, all right? I will add it to important features. Must be the system clock and simulation timer. Yeah. I do not like the placement of the right timer, right side timer. The placement of the right side timer is not optimal. I do wonder, is it also right side timer is not optimal. For the left side clock, perhaps we can also implement the FPS value straight away. Maybe that should be a different goal, right? Yeah, can do step by step. The right side timer is not optimal. What are the options of fonts here? Let me think this. Let me hide my display for a moment. I want to launch Gentoo code. Which means I need to open here some folder code. That's no. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, so I just want to look up the font that is used by the Gentoo. Yeah, it's Tahoma. Tahoma. From 8 to size 8 to 20 or so, right? Yeah. What are the options of fonts? What are the options? Okay, let me get back here the screen so you can see. What are the options of fonts here? Gentoo uses the Tahoma font starting with a size of 8. Gentoo uses Tahoma font for its top row, top screen texts, starting with a size of 8. I do wonder if it would make sense to use the same to use that font again for familiarity of look. Use the Tahoma font for its top screen texts, starting with a size of 8. I do wonder if it would make sense to use that font again to present it with a familiar look of legacy players. To present it with a familiar look for legacy players. Hmm. 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 But on the other hand, maybe it makes more sense to use a general's familiar font. I think this is Arial, probably. Yeah, it looks like Arial, the most common font, right? Yeah, Gentoo uses Tahoma for this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. Okay, this one here. Maybe it's better just use assert here. Assert might be better. It won't hide the null before the crash. That way. Get poly neighbor. So what changes is 1167. 1167. 1167. 11. Wait, what? 074. That's a number. 074. There we go. Okay, then that means we revert this commits. There we go. Good. 074. Yeah. The problem is, you know, the problem is is the assert will not suppress the asserts, will not suppress a compiler warning. And neither does this change in C++ 20. I do not have a good idea to solve this without adding a null, without adding an unnecessary null check. I will close this for now. The unnecessary null check. Let me look at this one more time. Other neighbor. Oof. Build silhouette. Builds sil. Oh boy. There we go. Good. So basically, get poly neighbor is not supposed to. Jesus Christ. Is not supposed to return. I cannot jump into it. There we go. It's not supposed to return null, right? Only if the index was bad. But the index is not supposed to be bad because it starts at 0, it ends at max polygon neighbors, which is 3. Oh, hold on. Num poly neighbors. It checks larger than this. Oh, actually, hold on. Maybe I looked at this completely wrong. Max polygon neighbors. Initialize this neighbor to nothing. Get polygon neighbor. Yeah. Maybe I looked at this wrong the first time. Yeah, there's a mismatch with the counting here. This one uses 3, but this one uses this number here, this value. And what? The number of polygons, lengths of the poly neighbors. Well, what will this number be then in practice? Poly index. Oof. Get poly neighbor. Slash. Poly neighbor. Neighbor index. Okay. Never mind. I looked at this wrong again. Neighbor index. I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let me just close it. I don't have a better idea here. Yeah, I would just delete it. Boom, that's done. There we go. Problem solved. Yeah. Okay. We have a lot of approved changes here. Okay, let me see here these comments. What is this? Duplicate and outdated ini.zh file is not cleaned up on EA app origin installed and is loaded. The game shipped with leftover outdated files, duplicate any data. Game tries to clean this up on startup, but this does not work on the EA app. Because the folder is owned by the app and is not writable. Oops. This results in the duplicate ini being loaded, which causes ini CRC not to match in multiplayer games and can cause a mismatch. Oof. But ini 0 hour. Oh, there too. Skipping loading that thing looks totally reasonable. I think that is even preferred to trying to delete it. Preferable. Well, I mean, can still delete it, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a bug, major or critical, I don't know. Modded AI using must be stop command buttons causes unhandled exception crash. Bug crash major mod. What TJ version is this? Crash, major mod, triage, milestone, major bug fixes. Yes, the sampler profiler cannot do instrumentation. You can research this topic for more information. It's actually called sampling profiler. Sampling the sampling profiler. Okay. Okay. Make all builds compatible with retail. Make all builds compatible with retail. Whoa. Okay. What is this? Profile. Oof. Oh, I don't want to click the here conversation. I'm not familiar with certain modern profiling tools are available, but if there's agreement, I'm happy to see the old profile library removed. The CI also does need updating to this to not try and build the profile presets. I would prefer not removing it until we add a full replacement. I would prefer not removing it until we add it. There actually is a great value in also having an in-game profiler that renders expensive functions directly in the game. I do not know the capabilities of profile, but would prefer we review this later when we do actually do performance investigations. To rework on performance and add replacements. Actually, there's great value in having an in-game profile that renders functions. Well, let's say that renders diagnostics directly in the game. I do not know the capability of the problem. Vote for close. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to remove this just now. Check out the profile library when we do profiling and performance optimizations. And if it proves to be useless, remove it. If there's value, then it can be valuable. Like, so for example, like the game memory, like someone might think it's totally useless, but it does provide some tools for memory leak detection and so on. So also there's no urgent need to remove that because it does have some nice features. And the same could be true for the profile. It could be that it's totally useless. I don't know, but maybe it's not. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, obviously, like, it's old code, so it will be dwarfed by the functionalities that modern profilers offer, right? That's for sure. That's for sure. let OmniBlade review this. Make all builds compatible with retail. That's a draft. I don't care. Beacon mouse cursor is only displayed while an object is selected. Okay. No beacon cursor. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Bug miner. Yeah. Bug miner. Pathfinding breaks. What is it? So many commits. Okay, how about here? Oof. Should probably clean up here our hundreds. We still have super many things to look at. How about we go through all of them now? Yeah. Workers, those who suddenly stop moving despite being ordered to move to a location. Okay. Implement disguise for current stuff updates. Virtualize for floating point operations. There's little we can do. Can we close this? This issue does not look like any particular action or item that we can solve just like that. Yeah. Create test replays. Do we still need more maps? Let's just say we now download maps from Gentour. This one is done. Okay. What is this? Okay. 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 Demo. Okay. Does this issue only happen when flying in diagonally with fast speeds? let's say, is this issue more likely to happen when flying in the with fast speed? Bug minor. This looks like it could this. This looks as if it could be a data bug. Can you try to find out if it is a specific mob member that causes this issue? So for example, it could be the guy that throws the rock that does not trigger XP. Just an idea. Yeah. Okay. Mines and structures will be permanently removed if you build and sell a building on them. That's certainly a bug, yeah. Cross-user affection vehicle drone upgrade compatibility. Right now, if you have two different user affections and you build vehicles for both of them and select them at the same time, the game won't give you the command button to two different. Select them. This sounds like data issue. Can you test if this issue still happens in General's game patch? Still happens with General's game patch. Bug, GUI bug, minor. Yeah, it could be that this is already fixed. Yeah. Okay. I need some water. Okay. Good. I think I will probably take a break here. Then next session we continue looking through all these so we can get that done. Looking through these things. To, yeah, get my my to-do list here a little bit down. I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Good. Yeah, let me take a break here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.